Hi, this is a little tour of an Osborne 1. This exact machine, this precise machine, I won in a sales contest in the early 80s. And I've kept it all these years. I've kept it very well preserved. I used to use it as my home computer. My son Cameron and I are just firing it up today, December 2010. And I haven't started this up for years. My son found an old WordStar diskette that I'd created. And we're going to go ahead and place it in here, and we'll start it in a moment. But just to give you a little brief rundown of this particular unit. This is the injection molded case style versus the original blow molded case style. The original ones were brown and beige, and they had a blow molded kind of roundish case that latched on the sides. The injection molded version came out about a year later. It was much nicer. It was much sturdier. You didn't grind your hand on the unfinished surface right here of the old keyboard. Overall, it was better. This particular model was the second revision in the injection molded line when they started bringing out the green phosphor screen instead of the black and white. This unit is complete. Somewhere I've got a battery, the backup battery supply, which plugged in right here. The batteries would need to be record, obviously, after all these years, but I have that accessory. Already in the left-hand floppy slot, which was a storage slot for floppies, I have the original Osborne 300 1200 baud modem. Very slow, but it worked. And then the standard options, or the standard features on this, were the standard RS-232 connection, what they called an IEEE 488 protocol right off the system board here, but this was something that could be adapted with the right cable to a parallel printer. And I have a cable, and I have an old Oki-Data parallel printer that I used to work with on this. Reset buttons, contrast and brightness controls work. Really everything works. And to start and to boot this, it's a CPM machine. And the old CPM operating system, which was built for the Z80 processor. Basically, you put your diskette in, you started it up, and this particular software package is WordStar. WordStar was an extremely big-selling word processor in the CPM and even the early MS-DOS world. And basically, I can go ahead and just quickly tell it I want to create a new document. I'll call it new doc. Now, the little tiny screen on this was necessary to make it a portable package and still fit in 5 1/4 inch discs. Later on, K-Pro came out with a version where it was a larger screen and the discs were mounted on the side, and it worked better. Osborne marketed an external monitor which would go on the side here, but I think they only made it in the old style, the brown and beige cabinet. But anyway, here you are with your word processor. Now, one of the features of the screen is that the electronics would let you scroll the screen. So it was essentially an 80-character screen, but you would be looking at 52 characters of it at any moment. So that's fine for spreadsheets, but for word processing, it's a real pain. So what we used to do is go ahead and reset the right-hand margins to something that would keep everything on screen, okay, and let you type your letter, okay. And then when you were done typing everything up, you would then reformat to 80 columns to print out. And while that sounds like kind of a pain, when we were actually doing it back in the early 80s, you could actually make it work, and it wasn't bad. Graphics, there are no graphics on this machine. There's graphic characters, but there's no graphics on this. It was really a text machine. The original Osbornes always came packaged with WordStar, which is your word processor, SuperCalc, a basic program, and a couple other utility programs. So it came out of the box. All you had to do was plug a printer in, and out of the box you could run your two main business applications, which is what people used back then, a basic word processor and a spreadsheet program. So it really was a portable unit, and with the battery supply that you could hook up into that I also have, you could literally take this on the road with you. Now, could this be used like a laptop on an airline or anything like that? No, it was too big. But you certainly could take these out to the field, out to a remote location. If you were doing mathematics on your SuperCalc spreadsheet and you needed to calculate pressures out in the field or hydraulic calculations or something like that, you could do that with this machine. And it was used in that capacity. A lot of people developed other software on this. It could be ported over to the 5 1/4 inch floppy format that the Osborne would recognize. And I personally sold dozens and dozens and dozens of these machines. I probably sold well over 100 of these machines in Orange County. And I sold so many that I won a national sales contest and didn't win but one, but two of these. One I immediately turned around and sold. They were retailing for $17.95, which was list price. Very few computers sold at list price. We sold these all day at $17.95. And when I won my first one, I turned around and sold it for $15.95, and I got the price. And when a few weeks later, I received my second one. But right in that term of time, Osborne Computer was starting to have financial problems, and the bottom fell out. And I was getting offers of $300 or $400 for it. And I just said, you know what, I'll just keep this. This will be my computer. So I've kept it to this day, and showing it to my son right now. And he's going to be acquiring a couple of Osbornes himself. So stand by for those videos. They shall be very interesting.